We made a very quick mention of Rolta earlier. Just pull up that stock for you, tell you what's really happening there. But seeing pressure the most since 2011, Rolta down 6.7%. But the minute the news came out of Glaucus, a US-based brokerage, and its call on Rolta, the stock was down about 8.4%. In fact, Glaucus saying that, making some serious contention, saying that Rolta has fabricated its reported capital expenditure. Let's get perspective on that story. I'm being joined by Hiranya Ashar, the CFO of Rolta. He's joining us on the phone line. Mr. Ashar, thank you so much for taking this call, sir. Let's start by addressing the headline that we're getting from Glaucus report, which is saying you fabricated your reported capital expenditure in order to mask that it has that you have materially overstated your EBITDA. Where are these concerns coming from? Just run us through your own take on the suggestion that you fabricated your capital expenditure.
Yeah, first of all, these reports and what has been written is absolutely baseless, and it does not, have the right facts and numbers and the analysis. So we completely deny, all what is written in this report, and it does not have any substance.
Okay. They are raising questions on your debt as well, saying your debt has risen from 319 million USD in FY11 to 740 USD in Q3 of 2015. Just give us a sense of where your debt stands right now.
Yeah, the debt is, at around 725 million at the net debt level. And the debt has gone up because we have gone through a large expansion and transformation process. We've been investing in many IPs. We've been investing in defense business, which is now looking very, very promising. So a lot of investments have gone in, and those investments have been funded, by debt.
So Glaucus on its part is alleging that you approached the foreign bond markets because you were unable to borrow in India. Speaking of the debt, just run us through this borrowing and, what your response really is to this contention on the part of Glaucus.
Again, absolutely. There are factual errors. So we did our first bond, in 2013, and it's not that we were not able to borrow. In fact, in 2012 also, we repaid our FCCBs and we borrowed and refinanced it. Now we access the international market because we wanted to have a much broader base of investors. And even in 2014, which is after the first bonds, we've taken additional facilities from Indian banks, and Indian banks have always been very, very supportive. So again, these are factual errors in the report where no one has even gone into the details of what we have borrowed, when we have borrowed, and without even looking into these things, some of these, allegations have been made, which are baseless.
Okay, talking of the fundraising, just give us some sense on how much you're looking to raise and in what time frame?
No, currently we are not looking at any fundraising. We have done, fundraising in the past, and now we don't, need any more funding. And, the investments which are made are already done, and now going forward, we'll be focusing on how we can deleverage.
Where do your EBITDA margins stand at this point?
Our EBITDAs are between 33 and 35% right now.
Okay, which is fairly higher than industry. Can you give us a sense of, whether, how that is really, why it is at those levels, whether you look at maintaining it at that level going forward?
See, first of all, the comparison also has to be apples to apples. So we are not, a typical IT services company. We have many businesses which are very, very different, especially when you talk about the defense business. And, in those businesses which we are very IP oriented, we have a lot of software, component into it. And that's why, our EBITDA margins are at different levels. So can you compare IT services EBITDA margins with a telecom company, EBITDA margins? Certainly not.
Industry margins typically ranging around 20-odd%, Mr. Ashar. But just a quick word on whether this brokerage house has reached out to you before they've come out with this recommendation of a strong sell?
No, they have not. Forget about reaching out. I have never even heard of the name of this research house. So no one has contacted us. It's a report which they have done on their own without even discussing with us.